You know, I always start this show off by showing love to those companies who help make this podcast possible. As always, man, you guys know that I do a lot of things with Bluon, man, and I absolutely love every single thing that they have going on. There is so many things in the works with me and Bluon that I can't talk about that I cannot wait to share with you guys. I absolutely cannot wait. If you guys are Bluon members, you would have gotten a text here recently, okay? Bluon giveaway order to win is live, okay? Every order completed on Bluon equals one entry for both the counter associate and the technician into the weekly drawing. 10 people, 5 techs, and 5 counter associates who fulfilled their order get $250. There's no limits on how many times you can win. You can literally win every week, 100 times, whatever it is. Winners are announced every Monday via their live drawing. You can see it on Instagram or YouTube. So guys, this app is already fucking amazing. Everything that it's doing, everything that's giving us, all right? The manuals, the tech support. Now we can order parts. We can find anything that's going to work for the system we're working on, cross-reference the parts, all that kind of stuff. Then you can, with Bluon delivery, get them delivered to your house like you just ordered a fucking sandwich. By you doing that, making your life easier, you automatically enter in to win $250 per week. And you're also helping maybe your favorite counter guy that you go bullshit with and talk about hunting or football or baseball or whatever it is that you talk about. He can win $250 as well by you placing that order. It's a win fucking win. Guys, Bluon, when they say that they are upgrading the HVAC industry, it is an absolute understatement. So if you are not a Bluon member, go do so. The next one is going to be my friends over at CompanyCam. I know all you technicians out there, you can't make the decision to sign up with CompanyCam. I get it, but you will appreciate CompanyCam, and maybe you can talk to your manager, owner, and say, hey, why don't we have this shit? Nowadays, it's all about covering your ass. It's all about taking picture, documentation, before and after, pictures that go up on Google and all those kind of things. CompanyCam is bringing all these things into one app. You can literally document all the different jobs that you're doing by taking pictures with professional, pre-built things that you can pick from to be able to use it. You can show the customer like, hey, you paid for your coil cleaning. This is what it was before. This is what it was after. And customers seeing is believing by showing them. I know, obviously, with me, I like to bring the customer down and show them in person, but sometimes people are busy nowadays. I got a meeting. I can't come downstairs for 5 minutes. Or it's a rental property and you can't talk to them. There's so many ways to utilize this. It timestamps it. You know, if a customer says, oh, well, you know, Jimmy wasn't here. He didn't do that. Oh, well, the video or the picture he took was taken June 21st at 2:30 p.m. It covers your ass. So CompanyCam is doing all kinds of stuff. And I'll be honest with you, it does so much more stuff that I don't even understand when it comes to putting your pictures online for people to be able to see your work. So guys, if you go to www.companycam.com/HVAC Uncensored, they will give you 2 months for 50% off. And then it's going to be 15% off after that. So, guys, it's a great deal. CompanyCam is absolutely amazing. Go check that out. On to the show. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. God bless the United States. And thank you to all those men and women who defend it.
Five, four, three, two, one, go. Welcome to the #1 rated HVAC podcast. If you're looking to grow in the HVAC industry, then you're in the right spot. Blue collar people talking about blue collar shit. Let's get better together. So turn up the volume, buckle your seatbelt, and let's welcome your host, Gil Cavey Jr.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the HVAC Uncensored podcast. I am your host, Gil KV Jr. Here we are, another episode, another fucking hump day that I get to hang out and talk to you mofos. I want to apologize about last week with no notice. I totally forgot to put a post out. If you guys don't follow me on Facebook, you didn't know, but you would have saw that my good friend, Mr. Ben Poole from HVAC Tactical, was in my neck of the woods, which is very rare. So I was hanging out with him that day. So that's why I did not podcast last week. I apologize, but I have an awesome show for you guys tonight. A few things to catch up. Let me say hi to some people. Mr. East Coast, what is up, my man? Thank you for being here. Mr. Brian Sanders, Mr. Neil C. Vids, Mr. Sam Andrew, what is up, buddy? Let's see who we got here. Mr. Jason Johnson, what is up, brother? Mr. HVAC Blogger, what is up, my man? Miss Jennifer Manzo, hello, lady. How are you, chica? What is up, Adrian, Mr. Reliable HVACR? Oh, Outlaw HVAC. I know I missed one. What is up, everybody? If you guys do not know, tomorrow is Tech Appreciation Day, so make sure your company is showing you appreciation. I will be taking my big flat top grill in and cooking for all of the team, so should be a good time showing our appreciation. So we'll see how that goes. But back to tonight, guys. I have a great show for you tonight. An awesome dude that I've had the pleasure of meeting in person. He's actually been a guest before, and I had so many technical difficulties. It was a shit show. I felt horrible. So I never put the audio out because it wasn't fair to him. I didn't want to make him look bad because of my audio being fucked up. So because of scheduling, you know, the guys in the field being busy, an influencer, I was able to get him back, and I'm super pumped to have him here. This guy is an HVAC tech, an HVAC business owner, and he's an influencer out there showing people the right way to do shit. Just like we say, a bunch of these other guys, they're raising the bar, all right? The new norm keeps getting raised. Like, oh, man, that looks good. Next guy's like, oh, well, let's try this. And it keeps getting raised. That's how we start to drop these shit bags out of our industry. If we keep raising the bar and raising the bar, all these hacks, you know, they're going to start falling through the wayside. They're going to fall in line or they're going to fall the fuck off. Guys like him, with what they're doing, are raising the bar. So, guys, without further ado, help me introduce Mr. Northwest HVAC, a.k.a. Mr. Jamie Christensen.
Hey, finally I'm unmuted.
Yeah. What's up? What's up, brother?
How's it going?
Good, man. Good. Anyway, man, if, God forbid, these people been living under a rock and they don't know who you are and what you do, man, tell them a little bit about yourself.
I mean, I'm an HVAC business owner, a new business owner. I've been in the HVAC field for, god dang, dude, it's been like 20 years almost. Worked non-union, worked union, now turned into a business owner. I'm like coming up on 2 years of running my own show. So that's been a curveball, dude, trying to be a business owner, man. Because like out in the field, like I remember just being in the field like all the time and like we're always like busting each other. Like, what does the office people even do? You know what I mean? Because we feel like we're doing everything. You know what I mean? We're talking to customer quote and all that. And then like you go into actually the other side of it and you're like, holy shit, dude. They have like a huge shield against you from the field, you know, from the customer to the field. So anyway, I'm just trying to run a business, being a service guy, installer now, you know what I mean? And doing the Instagram thing still, you know, it's crazy where that has taken me, you know what I mean?
I bet, man. I mean, the content you're putting out is awesome and it's authentic and genuine. I think people love that. When they see real people doing really good work, it's hard not to follow them. You know what I mean? But I'm curious, before we get into the technical side of stuff, is what made you take the leap into ownership? And is there anything you would have done different when making that step now that you've done it?
I mean, there's a ton of things why I started my own business. I mean, I've been thinking about it for years, you know what I mean? But a lot of it to like the field work and stuff and like the customer interaction and like how companies treat customers. Like I just, you know, because we're in the front line. So like when the office screws something up, you know what I mean? Like we deal with it in person, not over the phone. You know what I mean? Like you hear the complaints and things like that. And nobody's perfect, you know what I'm saying? But I'm like, I could do better. You know what I mean? Like, I understand when these companies get so big, like, it's hard to make everybody happy. Like, I get it. So I see it from a different angle now. But, like, I just wanted to focus on, like, quality over quantity. You know what I mean? Like stay relatively small to where I can like control the quality and like the product instead of getting so big, the machine's so hungry, you're like taking on any work. You got to hire anybody that's, looking for work, and then your quality kind of goes to shit. So like, I just wanted to, do it my way. And the scheduling, making my own schedule is huge. I had a kid. I mean, he's almost 4 now, but like, I was spending all this time driving to Seattle, Bellevue, and 2 to 4 or 5 hours a day in traffic, just going to and from work. Yeah. And I'm like, dude, like, I want to start my own shop and stay more local. So like, the kid really kind of kicked it into high gear because you want to be home more with your family, you know what I mean? And the money, you know what I'm saying? Like, I get to see a lot more money. I also pay a lot more money to the government and the city and stuff, but like you see more money, you know what I mean? So like all that effort and hard work that we're doing anyway, in the field, like with repairs and installs, like you get to see more money. You get to see more benefit from it, being on your own.
Yeah, you get the tax breaks. I always tell people the tax laws were created for entrepreneurs, not for 9-to-5 employees. When I started owning businesses, and it's something as small, and they've heard me say this a million times, but I don't go on vacations. I go on company retreats.
I've heard that.
Yeah, me and my family go away, and I'm like, oh, yeah, well, we talk about the podcast, 45 minutes a day on how we can make it better. We talk about it all the time. I'll videotape it next time. No, that's awesome to hear, man. I think you're absolutely right. So coming up as a tech my whole life and then getting into the management and, now being a general manager of a medium-sized company, what you just said is the exact problem, because normally it starts as, you're a technician, you do a really good job, you start a company, and you don't necessarily want to grow, but as you start doing a good job and more people want your services, you can't be in 5 different places at one time. So you hire a couple of people, but then you need them to give the same quality of service that you give. So it's coming up with systems and processes to be able to teach these people exactly what you did, which sometimes is easier said than done. And then you get big enough, it's exactly what you said. It's feed the machine. Because I'm sorry, when these companies get too big, there's going to be bad apples. There's going to be dishonesty. There's no way. There's no way around it. So that's why, with Beltway, what we've done is we've gotten decent, but we keep growing and pulling back. Because I keep saying that it's like I'm almost doing like a brake check, because I want to make sure that, we could be a lot bigger than we are, but we pull it back. We're like, okay, if we get bigger, like this guy's a good fit. Okay, he's a good fit. I keep reassuring the foundation because I don't want that to happen. That's what scares the shit out of me. I don't want to get so big that then, you get that reputation like, oh, they're scamming. This guy's doing this. And I know there's only so much you can do, and if somebody does something wrong, you let them go. But that scares me because I don't want to be that company. I don't want to be that guy,
I think a lot of it is like you're kind of saying, the brake checking thing, because like in the beginning, I'm like trying to go full force, but like I'm trying to like learn how to navigate the waters of being a business owner, because it's completely different, and it differs from state to state. Like from my circle and the people I talk to on a daily, weekly basis on Instagram all across the country, like my state is the hardest to like get licensed to be HVAC, you know what I mean? The requirements, all of it, taxes, it's very difficult, you know what I mean?
Are you in Oregon again? Is that where you are? Where are you at again?
Washington.
Is it true in parts of Oregon they legalized all drugs?
Yeah, I think in Portland they did, like something
cocaine,
like that.
Heroin,
yeah,
like
everything. Like a minimal amount, you know what I mean, is like completely legal.
What the fuck?
Well, because the jails are so full, of people, like
yeah.
You start like turning a blind eye to that, stuff like that. But, it's run by Democrats. So like Seattle's just going down the same road. Like it's sickening. You know what I mean? Like
I don't know outside of Baltimore, bro. You ain't got to tell me.
Yeah.
We burn our own city down. Okay.
Yeah. So, now that's one reason why I want to start my own business, because I wanted to stay out of that area. You know what I mean? Because I saw it over the last decade, how much it just changed for the worse, you know what I mean? Like, but anyway, like to answer your other part of that question, like what I would have done different is I probably would have planned a little better, you know what I mean? Because like I'm coming from the service side of things, minimal install through my career. And, I'm thinking like, I'm a great service tech, you know what I mean? Like, I'm going to start a business and then my phone's just going to be ringing like, hey, you want to come fix my stuff? You know what I mean? And it was like the complete opposite. It was like, hey, install, swap outs. And like, I had to like learn a bunch of shit. I mean, I felt like an amateur I still feel like an amateur on some of the install stuff, not like comfortable like I do with service, you know what I mean? Like when I go to do a service call or repair, like I'm in my zone, you know what I mean? I'm focused and I can overthink stuff. And like, especially on this city multi job, like I think it's a good thing because, like you can fuck this shit up easy with piping, dude. Like I don't want to do that, especially on the first one. I want to do it right. And, but like the install things, I wish I would have took advantage of more of that side of things when I was in the union, like being on that install side of things. Sheet metal, huge. Like I can use snips and some basic sheet metal shit, but I couldn't build you a transition. You know what I mean? I don't even know how to fucking measure for it. You know what I'm saying? Like
I was the same dude.
So that I would have changed, you know what I mean? Like, because like as a business owner, small business owner, like you have to be well-rounded in everything. And I wasn't.
But you can tell the way you talk, the fact that it bothers you and you care means that you're going to do good work and you're going to be successful. The people who don't give a shit are the ones, like, oh, I'll get it done. You know what I mean? Like, can't see it from my house. Like those kind of people.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, why are you in business? And I do think that people should go try to start their own business. But I always tell people, like you just said, you can be the best tech in the world. Doesn't mean you're going to be a good business owner. Some of the best business owners I know, they're smart guys, but they don't know dick about HVAC. They hire somebody else that knows the trade.
Yeah.
And the other part is when you own the business, when you go home, you can't always turn it off because you still got to like, shit, did we make enough money? Okay, we can pay that bill. All right, cool. You know what I mean? But it's not all negative. It's a lot of stresses, especially in the first couple of years when you're building that foundation. But once you get that foundation laid, I think it can be very fulfilling and very fruitful for somebody with the tax benefits and different things like that. And the control that you have over the work that you're doing, the biggest thing I tell people when they start is don't be afraid to fire customers, Like if it's one of those jobs, you know what, like I don't want to do that job, then don't fucking do it. Don't feel obligated to do it like you have to.
I experienced that like from the very beginning. Like I had a guy who wanted me to, install, I think it was some Bosch equipment or something in like his house, his daughter's house, his son's house. So it would have been a good job, 3 installs. And then like spent a lot of time on it, I'm new, so I'm really uncomfortable to, the quoting of installs and stuff. And anyway, like I got to a point where like I gave him the quote and I was like, this doesn't include electrical, so that was like one of my exclusions was electrical. Cause like in Washington, we can't do anything on the line side of the disconnect. You know what I'm saying? So like
same in Maryland.
Yeah. So like you have to have an O1 license here to do that. Like, but load side from disconnect to unit, like you can do anything, right? Anyway, so like, he's got some major electrical upgrades because his panel's full. He's adding like a big load because they're pretty big houses, you know what I mean? And I was like, you might need to like update like your panel, like a whole panel upgrade, right? So we're talking like $6-7 grand. Anyway, so I was like, excludes electrical, and he's like, well, I don't want to pay for the electrical. He wanted me to like pay for the electrical, and I'm like, bro, like you want me to pay for your electrical upgrades so you can get a heat pump? I'm like, what the fuck kind of world are you living in, dude? And I'm like,
but okay, I'm going to add 12 grand onto my price and then I'll pay for it.
Yeah. I was like, all right, bro, I'm not interested. And he's like, really? Like, oh, that sucks. He was a nice man too. You know what I mean? Like he was cool. And he was like, oh man, that sucks. I really want to support a small business. And I'm thinking to myself, if you want to support a local small business, then you would have paid what I quoted you, you know what I mean, and paid for your own electrical. I just sub it out, right? Like I wasn't even going to make any money off of it. At that point in time in business, like I know a lot of people mark it up, you know what I mean? And like I was just like, I will literally charge you what my electrician charges me. I'm not even making money off of that, right? And he didn't want to pay for it. He wanted me to like cover all of it, if not like 50% or all of it. I can't remember, but either way, it's like thousands of dollars. I'm like, bro, you're tripping. Like,
we're doing this by code. I can't do it. Therefore, it's not my work. I'm not paying for it. It's crazy some of the things that people ask you. We had a guy the other day, man, that we literally He's spent $49 with us, a $49 tune-up, and he has a maintenance plan, which it's like $19.95 a month. So 49 plus 1 month payment. Went out, one of our techs did a maintenance, made some recommendations, like the indoor coil was dirty. We'll clean it with water, but if it's really bad, it's like, hey, you need chemicals. Like, you got to pay for the chemicals, but we give you a discount. And he said, your capacitor's weak. Nothing crazy. Calls in, system's not working. Technician goes out, coil's dirty, capacitor's still weak, but it's an R22 system, and he's like, this is a little low. To be honest, I think it was low in the beginning, but my maintenance tech missed it. And the guy's like, well, I'm not fucking paying for that. I got a service plan. I'm like, okay. I'm like, you want me to read what it covers? Because it doesn't mean that you pay $49 and I just fix your shit for free. That's not how this works. And he was like, I was an HVAC engineer in India. And I'm like, well, I don't know what the fuck they do, but that's not what we do here. And you could tell the guy was like talking about stuff and had no idea what he was talking about. Yeah, it was frustrating.
I think dealing with that type of customer interaction, you know what I mean, is one of the worst things about being a business owner, like minus taxes and that back end shit. But like dealing with people, because what I've learned and realized being in business for almost 2 years now is like people are still mentally 5 to 10 years ago in pricing. You know what I'm saying? They're like thinking they're going to get this top of the line. Like I had a guy send me, like, I want this piece of equipment, like a Bosch 2.0, you know what I'm saying? Like piece of equipment put into my house.
And I want to pay $6,500.
Yeah, he's like, my budget is like $5,000. I'm like, bro, just the materials are going to cost me about $5,000. Like, I don't know what year you're living in, but like we're in 2023. Like shit is not cheap. Like,
yeah, I tell people, I'm like, COVID is like somebody came in and shot the place up and left us to pick up the pieces. They all jacked up the prices, and guess what? They're not taking them back down.
No.
So
that's what I'm saying. Like, we're in this, like, so get used to it. Like Mitsubishi just had a 7% on most of their equipment increase in my area. They were like the one company that I deal with regularly that hadn't had any increases during COVID, and they just shot it up 7% on most of equipment. And then like accessories is like whatever, 3-4%, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, most of them do. It's a federal thing, but do you know about the 25C tax credit?
I don't know about 25C, but like, what is it? The Inflation Reduction Act? Is that what you're talking about? Yeah.
So some of those things, they get $2,000. Obviously, it's not through us, the provider, but
yeah, it's like a tax break for them.
Yeah, if they get an AHRI certificate and the receipt that they purchase when they do their taxes, they get $2,000 on qualifying systems. I mean, $2,000 is $2,000, And sometimes that's enough for people to be. It's like, hey, like, this is what you're going to pay today, but this is what it'll end up being once you get the tax credit, making sure that they understand.
That whole thing with tax credits, and I mean, I remember when that Reduction Act rolled out, like my supply house, gives me a lot of information, but it was so new, like nobody had answers, you know what I mean? I had all these questions and I'm like, so is this eligible? Is it like what? All these questions, and I was like, everybody's like, I mean, this is all we got, this flyer right here.
It kept changing. It was like, oh, it's going to be this much. Oh, no. It's going to be this much, but then this qualifies. So there was that tax credit part. And then there was another one that it was like lower income. They could get up to like $14,000 in tax credits to fix their house, and up to $8,000 of that could be HVAC. But like, I saw a family that this is as hard as you can get. Like, they were a good family, struggling. They had 6 kids and they didn't qualify. And I was like, if these people don't fucking qualify, then I don't know who does. So I just stopped mentioning it to people because I didn't want to get their hopes up and they're like, what the fuck, Gil, So
that's kind of where I'm at with all that shit. Like, I mean, I get, the local standard rebates, it's like $300 or $600 off for a heat pump, a ductless. That still takes a lot of time to submit and get it. But like, I offer that to people, but anything above that, like if they don't bring it up, if they're hurting financially, if it comes down to that, then a little light bulb goes off like, oh, the Inflation Reduction Act. But like, I don't bring it up because it was such a confusing avenue. And like, I didn't have answers to the questions that I had and then the customer had, you know what I mean?
I don't blame you. And I feel like that's part of the thing, anything with the government, and they have to do that. If they want us to do it and do it well, we have to know what the fuck's going on. And when it came to that, it was definitely hard. What I know is because I literally researched it and talked to some people, and our Lennox rep is pretty awesome. So he explained it to us. And if he would have never sat down and talked to us, we would not even be bringing it up, to be honest with you, because of the same reasons. Because it was just like, okay, if they ask this, like, what the fuck do I say? Because I don't know the answer.
Beginning of this year when I rolled out, like I did a hyperheat install, and I'm pretty sure this woman, she qualified for like the low income stuff, and I haven't heard from her. I gave her all the information, so I'm assuming that it worked out for her. I hope it does, because like they spent a good chunk of money. But like, it's just like so much time, and they roll this thing out, like the government, state permits. It's the same thing. There's too many people involved, too many cooks in the kitchen, right? And it's like they make the simplest fucking thing so difficult and time consuming. You know what I mean? And people are just like, they don't want to deal with it. Like, I'm a small business. Like, I don't have time to do all that. We can discuss that if the opportunity presents itself, but like, I'm not going to go down that road if I don't have to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I don't blame you. So how many people you got working for you now? Is it just like you and a helper, or?
Yeah, me and my wife.
Oh, it's you and your wife? Oh, fucking yeah, that's nice. I got a friend of mine who's a plumbing company like that.
Yeah, so teaching her, I hired her to do a lot of the back end type stuff and then help me in the field when I need it, so she knows HVAC because of me. Everything she knows. And then she worked for Gensco for like, I don't know, like 4 or 5 months, I think. So like she knows the equipment, the terminology for most things, but I'm training her. She's like a green apprentice, you know what I mean? But I'd rather do it with her than somebody that I don't know if they're going to like stick around. But like, I would be nice to get somebody like Judd, you know what I mean? I wish he lived out here because, he came and helped me on this big job. And it's just like, oh my God, I forgot what it's like to like have somebody that you can, just go do what we do, and I can go do what I do, and shit's getting done on both sides of the table. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you saw, but like I kind of had a breakdown. Like it was about the job, but it's just everything combined. You know what I mean? And it was like labor issues. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, I got my wife, and then I've subbed out like a little bit of help. You know what I mean? To some labor, and it just hit me, last week I'm up and I'm doing something. I'm like, I got like 2-3 people here that can't do shit unless I'm holding their hand, no offense to them. I'm not mad. You know what I'm saying? Because when I originally quoted this job, I had it set up to have like another lead on site. And then he like, as the date got closer, started kind of backpedaling, you know what I mean? Then I was like in the trench, you know what I mean? I'm like, fuck, what am I going to do? Me and my wife did a lot, you know what I'm saying? But you get to a point on a job that size where like you need experience. And that's the point I got to. I'm like, I'm not going to make the deadline, type shit. And then I'm super hard on myself. And it turned the corner this week, you know what I'm saying?
That just shit hits everybody, man. It weighs on you. And you as the business owner and the guy doing the work, if God forbid something's not right, the customer's coming to you. So yeah. I get it. You're fucking human, man. So, I mean, like, one of the things about you when you do a change out, are you like doing that for like 2 days since you're by yourself?
Pretty much.
Yeah. Are you doing
Pretty
like
much.
bigger jobs with like duct work and stuff too? Or are you trying to like just swap outs and
just
that kind
swap outs typically? I think I'm going to try to focus more on like push ductless and stuff more because like I can do that, by myself on most cases. You know what I mean? Me and my wife can easily do a ductless job. Like I'm trying to teach her, like she's out with me for a day, and then if she's not like physically doing something constantly, she feels like she's not being helped. And I'm like, babe, you got to understand, like sometimes all it is like if I'm in an attic or I'm up on a ladder or I'm this or that, I forgot this tool or need this, and you go and get that is like worth its weight in gold. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because I can continue working. You go grab the tool. It's just like having to go to a supply house. You know what I mean? You forgot something or got the wrong size. You didn't check, whatever the case. Like if you have to leave that job or stop what you're doing, it's a waste of time.
That's where Bluon delivery comes in. Sorry, I had to plug that.
Yeah, no, but that's like where we're at. Like, I mean, I remember, one of my last union jobs, like, we were in a pinch a couple times. This is when like Uber started like really kind of becoming popular and stuff. And like we Ubered parts. Like, because it was cheaper to call an Uber to go pick up a part and bring it to your job site than have us leave to go down and grab it. So,
and that's why I say this Bluon delivery shit is awesome because, you know, what you just said, it saves time that literally it's like ordering a fucking sub. You can be doing work and they literally come and drop that shit off, man. Like it really is amazing because I've been that guy where you got to go to the supply house all the way fucking across town to get this fucking thing working. 45 minutes there, 45 minutes back, where it's like I can still be working and this other schmuck's going to drop this shit off to me. That's a time saver.
You schmuck, bring me my part.
Yeah. They're cool guys though. Yeah, it's
is it actually Bluon guys or is it like
it's a service they use called Curry, but I mean they can bring
I didn't mean that. You guys aren't schmucks. I'm just talking shit.
I was joking too. They know that. And the coolest thing is they literally have anywhere from like a sedan to like a tractor trailer. Like they could literally,
like if you need ductwork or like a unit or a coil or something.
Yeah,
like
they can literally, you know, drop it off to you. I had a guy that used it and they dropped off a fucking, what was it, a 7.5 ton or 7 ton rooftop unit.
Will they pick up an old unit?
I don't know. I think it's just delivering, but I mean, hey, if you tell the guy who brings it, like, hey, if you take this old one, dude, like, you know,
yeah, like you can scrap it, keep the money, bro.
Yeah,
because like when I was doing change outs in the union, like we use big crane companies, we use small crane companies, and like I remember we used a crane company that like he would take the old unit, like he would bring and pick the new one. You know, you meet up with the supply house, and then he picks it and he takes the old one away. So when I started my business, that was a learning curve for me. Is like I just assumed that they took it. The first change out I did, he's like, "No, we don't take the old unit." And I'm like, really? And then I called another crane company and they would take the unit, but they wanted like $2,000 just to take the unit. I'm like, yeah, I'm way beyond that, bro. I fucking had them put it down in the parking lot and I just fucking sawzalled the shit out of it and took like 2 truckloads and scrapped it.
Our company takes it. That's part of their deal, that they give us a good deal. We call them. The only time we can't use them is if we need like a big crane. But even a lot of times those guys will take it, or we know beforehand. But no, I agree, because if I would have had that happen, then I would have been like, fuck, what the hell am I going to do with this?
I was like, well, I got a Sawzall in my truck, so.
But then again, that's more time. So is your wife the one doing the filming when you make videos and stuff?
Sometimes.
Some of your stuff, I know it's like the camera's back, so I didn't know if like you had it propped up on a tripod or like somebody else was doing it.
Sometimes, like when I set those city multi-condensing units, I just set it up on a tripod. I'm a small business and I'm like, you know, taking all the tools and stuff. So like, I like to have the tripod, but sometimes it's just one of those things. It's just like an extra thing that you don't need. And like this place, if it wasn't kind of like a secure place, you know what I mean? I would be taking more content. So I have to like be careful, like with what I take pictures. Most of it's 16 feet in the air, so you can't see anything, you know what I mean? But like I had Gripple and RLS out to this job, and they had their little film crew, and then they have to send in what their final cut will be of what we did to get approved, you know what I mean? So I try to get the content when I can, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's hard. People don't realize that. So were you on Instagram sharing work before you started your own company?
Oh, yeah. I started sharing my work like back when it wasn't cool. You know what I'm saying? Like in 2014-ish, I think I had changed it to like an HVAC page. So I've been doing it for, what is that, 8 years?
That's a long time. Yeah, fucking trend setting. I didn't know that. I've been newer to Instagram, dude. Like when I started meeting guys like you, like I didn't even know that it exists because I was on YouTube and Facebook. And then when I started going on there, I'm like, dude, this is a whole new world. Like, look at some of this shit, dude. It's been awesome to be able to meet everybody because I really love Instagram's platform. I always say this. I don't like Facebook anymore. I keep my Facebook group because I have a good bit of members and it looks good for sponsors, but I hate my own Facebook group. Just because of the name HVAC Uncensored on Facebook, people think it gives them a reason to act like a fucking retard. And I'm like, dude, that's not the point of this group. So there's some good dudes in there, and I talk to some, but you still get the fucking knuckleheads, and it's a full-time job.
I noticed that same thing because I originally would post some stuff on Facebook because at that time I was way more involved on Facebook, you know what I mean, posting-wise. And, you know, the Instagram was like, oh, here's a light post and a black and gray fucking, you know, filter and like your food and just dumb shit, right? And I'm like, And I'm like very passionate about HVAC. And so like, cause I picked up on it pretty quick. I'm like, well, Instagram's like very like customizable. Like you start posting this stuff and using these hashtags and following these people, like you can basically customize your feed, right? It's not just like Facebook is everybody's shit. You know what I'm saying? Like it's over in left field, over in right field. And so I tailored it to HVAC because I was super passionate about it. And then it's really blown up in the last like 4 years, 5 years, you know what I'm saying? Where like you get to influencers. I hate fucking being called that, by the way, because
You are, though.
yeah, I know I am.
In a good way, though. You're doing things the right way and people see that. But I get it. When people call me that, I'm like, I just put a microphone in front of my mouth and talk about a trade that I love that's been good to me. And I'm glad that I get to help other people, you know?
Yeah, and I like it. It's just that term kind of carries like a negative with it, you know what I mean? Like you're just posting stuff to be cool and get attention and shit like that. Like, oh, this is the best ever thing because somebody gave it to me for free. Like that shit, like we were just talking about today on the job. I was like, that wasn't a thing when I started my HVAC page. Like, you know, tool companies giving you tools to test out and things like that. Like it wasn't like that. It's only turned into that over the last like 4 or 5 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, that's why when it comes to sponsors, I've turned down more money than I've taken, man, because I'm like, if I wouldn't say something about you for free, I'm not going to do it paid. Like you said, they might send us stuff for free, but the people who watch us or listen to us, they got to pay for it. I don't want them to buy something and be like, oh, what the fuck was Gil talking about? This thing's a piece of shit. Like Yellow Jacket. Like I love Yellow Jacket because it reminds me of my dad, you know, second generation, my first set of gauges. But even when I tell people, I'm like, hey, man, you make some of that summer money and you're looking to buy something, check out Yellow Jacket. I don't say, hey, go buy this thing. It's the latest and greatest. It's like, hey, just look at what they have to offer. I don't think their stuff is the fanciest or the nicest stuff on the market. I do think it's one of the most durable, you know, because I've literally done videos where I beat the fuck out of these things. But I try to be as honest as possible.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I'm at. And I get tools, and I've gotten tools.
I got some.
Dude, go buy these shoes.
Yeah, I got like 15 pairs of these things.
But like, I've gotten tools for free, right? You know, you buy a tool or you get a tool, and whether you buy it or not, like, it's always the coolest thing in the beginning, right? But then the more you use it, you know, like you're like, okay, well, here, this, I don't like this about it. You know what I mean? I bought like a digital torque wrench, you know what I mean? And like I post about it, like, because it worked the first time. Then the second time, I'm like, dude, this thing is not accurate. Like, I know I'm past like the torque specs, right? Like, I've been doing it long enough where I know like, hey, 10 to 14 pounds ain't much, right? And it's just like inconsistent. And like, I haven't revisited that post. Like, one thing I need to probably be better at is like when I post videos of tools and then, you know, you use it for 6 months or whatever, is like kind of do a follow-up like tool. Like I'm usually like, I get a new tool and I like it and I post about it and then I answer comments and shit, you know, honestly, you know, but like I don't do like a follow-up of like, hey, it's been 6 months since I've used this tool. Here's like my final, you know, thought on it, right? Like I should probably be better about that, right? And I was kind of thinking about, you know, because now you can do like subscriptions with Instagram, right? And like there's money to be made and I'm not getting paid shit, you know what I mean? Like, and I know a lot of people are out there getting paid because I'm kind of torn because like I want it to be authentic, you know, and I want people to think, you know, if they pay, like you're fake, like, because I try to be upfront, right? But like I don't even know what you do with subscriptions. Like, what should you do? Should you like focus like, oh, honest tool reviews and subscriptions? Like, I'm not gonna make people subscribe to me to see my daily shit, right? Because I enjoy sharing it. So like I want to have like a good reason if I go down that road. Like I signed up for it because every time I open Instagram, it's like, hey, you're eligible for subscriptions. And I didn't do it for months. I finally set it up. Like I haven't even got one subscriber because I don't know, like you have to post in this certain like subscriber place. And this is like probably the first time I've even talked about it.
Don't downplay what you do, man, because even you doing your day-to-day stuff adds value. For all you know, somebody could watch that, it could motivate them. Maybe you answer a question that person just learned something. Or maybe they subscribe and they're like, hey, Jamie, I was doing a job like you, but I had this happen. And you're like, oh, man, well, when that happens, do this. Like, you know what I mean? Sometimes that's what people want, because think about it, man. And I thought about this a while ago. And you making money off of your platform, there's nothing wrong with that. For the longest time, dude, I said, no. But this shit takes a lot of work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you don't got to get rich off it, but there's nothing worth as long as you're honest and genuine about making a couple of dollars, man. And I try to help as many people as I possibly can. I don't know everything. I'm far from it. And I tell people that if I can answer their question. But a lot of these people, man, a lot of these younger techs, they're getting thrown out into the fucking field. They're expected to know things they don't. They're afraid to call anybody. That's one of the reasons why I promoted Bluon so much, because of their tech support 365 days a year, 7 days a week. You know, so when people have that community, they can ask a question or bounce something off. That's fucking priceless to them. I get it. And sometimes they just connect with different people, you know? Like, a lot of us assume, like, oh, you have 100,000 subscribers. You have, 90. Okay, well, they could be totally different people. It doesn't mean that you're all pulling from the same pool of people, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, you make good points. I'm sure there are a lot of people that follow me would have no problem paying $2.99 or $4.99 or whatever to see stuff, but it's new, and I'm a creature of habit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and being a business owner too, like, I know what to do with a reel and a post that's quick and easy most of the time. But, like, I don't know. Down the road soon, I'll probably do something with it because, yeah, I mean, I see all these fuckers out here getting, like, good money, and I've made money, you know what I mean? Like, with the Reels play, and it wasn't a lot. I've signed a couple contracts with people, so I made a little bit of cheddar, but, like, I want to make more. You know what I'm saying? I signed on with, like, an agency to, like, when people reach out to you to, like, hey, we want to send you this and post about it, blah, blah, blah. Like, I just send it to them now. And then if they can make a deal, great. You know what I mean? So, like, I've started the process of it, but it's not going to take away from what I do normally. You know what I mean? Because I thoroughly enjoy, like, everything I post. Like, I enjoy sharing that. You know what I mean? But it would be nice to, like, get some money. You know what I'm saying?
Like I said, I did this for the longest time and wasn't really making dick. And then it got to be where it was, like, just enough to make it worth it, where it was, like, worth taking the time from my family. I mean, now, Christ, the podcast makes more than almost my day job.
If I could get rich, great. But, like, if you can make enough to pay your mortgage or your car note or whatever, like some bills, like, you're talking $400 to $1,000 or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, that shit would be awesome.
A vacation a year, buy your kids something that you might not have been able to make that purchase if you didn't have it. And the way I think about it is this could end at any time. So I'm going to enjoy it while it's here. 2 years from now, people could be like, HVAC Uncensored, Gil who? So it's a privilege. It's an honor to do this. I'll do it as long as people want to listen to my dumbass talk on this microphone. But at some point, it's probably going to go away.
I've tickled the idea of doing a podcast, over the years, but I'd rather just be a guest, you know what I mean? Like, especially now that I run a business, like, I don't have time to dedicate to, like, doing a podcast, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just not in the cards.
Yeah, I tell people they should, but it is a lot. And a lot of people realize when they start out how much work is involved on the back end. I mean, now I got to set down to a routine, but it's still, like, granted, I'm not in the field every day anymore. I have more of the mental headaches running the company, but I come home sometimes and I'm like, fuck, I don't feel like going downstairs. Once I get down here, I love it because I got a big mouth and I like talking to people. But sometimes it's like I'm coming home from work like, damn, dude, like, I just wish I could just chill with the family tonight. I'm really just trying to fucking relax, But one thing I wanted to ask, so when you first started your business and you had all that stress, was it hard to continue making consistent content because you had so many other things to worry about?
Yeah. And I got kind of down, like, basically depressed, you know what I'm saying? Because you're, like, battling with yourself. Like, did you make the right decision? Blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, it definitely affects the content because, well, in the beginning, too, like, I wasn't really working much, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was more back end shit, and it was stressful dealing with the state and things like that. But once I kind of get the ball rolling and stuff, like, I feel like I'm where I'm supposed to be, you know what I mean? And, like, I was getting stressed about this big job. And so, like, I'm super appreciative to Judd for coming and helping me out because, like, I'd be screwed without, I'm sure I probably would have found somebody else eventually. But, like, dude, in 2 days of having us and a couple helpers, just little things, like, I mean, we've almost ran all the piping. You know what I mean? And it's 19 heads, you know what I'm saying? I still got to do a little bit of the rigid shit, but, like, he's good, he's good at what he does. I'm good at what I do. And, like, you take a helper each and just I got another lift, so we're both on lifts, and it's been great. So I got him till Friday night. So I'm gonna work his ass. I'm gonna work his ass till Friday evening, and then it's up to me to kind of finish it, take it to the finish line.
Yeah, that's awesome. Damn, 19 heads. That's a big job. So let me ask you this. So try to transition into the actual work and HVAC side. An ideal day for you, what would that be? If you could go install this system and whatever, like what would you love to be able to do every day? Put in ductless systems?
No, a fucking crane pick, a rooftop unit.
Yeah, they are nice.
No, but I honestly, like, if you're talking installs, easy ductless or whatever, or okay ductless, but RTU replacements are easy. But I like doing service calls. Like, I like fixing problems. I like fixing problems that other people couldn't figure out. That's like where I really thrive. You know what I mean? Is like, oh, 2 or 3 other guys came out, or 2 other companies came out, and they couldn't figure it out. You know what I mean? And it's usually something pretty small, but like, basically an ideal day is service, some kind of service calls, or helping, somebody out, whether it's even over the phone. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I'm helping. If I help somebody, like, I feel good.
Yeah.
I love this field and I love this trade. You know what I mean? Installing, like, I've always hated it. You know what I mean? I'm getting better at it. Because I've worked on it and I've installed like pieces of the system I'm doing. I've never done it from start to finish and had my hands on every part of the job. So like I was like, I think I quoted the hours that it will take, the time that it will take. I just underestimated the labor, you know what I mean? The heads on the job, right?
Yeah.
I enjoy it. Like, this type of install is cool, you know what I mean? And using some of the Gripple products, like the Unigrip, Central Exit, like I saw that stuff, on videos, and I reached out to him. I was like, hey, I'm doing this big job. Like, would you be interested in supplying some material to showcase on the job, right? And they were like, yeah. So like, I've been using some of their stuff, and then RLS, you know what I mean? I reached out to Paul and them, and
Paul's
they
awesome.
helped me out. Yeah, Paul's great. That whole company's great. You know what I mean? So they're a big help, and they've saved my butt. Because, like, honestly, these people that I'm working for are awesome. But, like, they said they got another quote, and I'm assuming somebody else's quote was a lot higher than mine. But, like, I quoted it like what I felt was fair and how I can make a profit. Like, I'm not trying to stick it to anybody. I just quoted like I would quote any other job, right?
Yeah.
I just missed on the heads, like the labor needed to do certain things. So like the next one I do, I'll have a way better idea, and I would probably be, I bet, 50 grand higher.
It's a learning curve, like you said, man.
Yeah.
Like I tell all new people, like anything in life, especially the trades, is about mistakes. We're all going to make mistakes. It's about learning from them and making new mistakes. It's just kind of how you have to go. It is what it is. One thing I found out, and I'll ask your opinion on this to see if it's the same for you, that when you're starting out, that you almost feel like you have to do installs sometimes because they bring in so much money.
That's the thing that, like, I completely missed the boat on is, like I said earlier, when I started my business, I'm a service guy. I'm thinking the phone's going to start ringing off for service calls and maintenance contracts and stuff like that. It didn't. It was all installs. And then you do the business thing, and then you start realizing, like, to build an HVAC business and the customer base is a lot off of installs, doing replacements and new jobs like that. And then you get the references like, oh, so-and-so put it in. Or then when their stuff breaks that you put in, you get the service call, and then people talk. Like, I don't do any advertising, it's all like, I've gotten some jobs through Instagram just because people follow me, or they, somebody gave them my page, like whatever. That's what I was saying. I missed the boat on, like, if I would have known what I know today, I would have took more advantage of like sheet metal classes and being more involved in installs and commercial, residential, all that. You know what I mean? Like, that's where a lot of the business comes from, is from that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I feel like it's also your reputation, like, people giving you reviews, those 5-star reviews, because now people, they go search for a company on Google, and, having your name up there, like, it's powerful. Like, our 5-star rating means the world to us. But, sometimes you get just asshole people that, you can do a decent job and they leave you a 2-star. And I got to call these people and be like, how can I make this better? How can I, because I want to protect our reputation, especially from dumb stuff. It's a lot, man. It is. So I feel your pain. Granted, I don't own the company, I run it, but a lot of that burden trickles down onto me.
Yeah. I know like reviews and stuff make you rank higher on, the SEO on Google and shit like that. But like in the beginning, I try to like focus on that, but like I don't. You know what I mean? Like I don't have a lot of reviews. Like it's more word of mouth. You know what I mean? And I started kind of pushing it more, but like I know when I do a good job and I know when like shit's done right and people are happy, and you're never going to get away from a bad experience with a customer. Like it's going to happen.
Oh yeah, 100%.
You know what I'm saying? You're going to get the bad review. I just hope that it's something that you can fix easy or whatever, you know what I mean? But like I try not to focus too much on that shit. But like being a big company, and that's, like more of a residential based company, it relies heavily on that stuff, you know what I mean? I'm like cool with residential, but like I'm a commercial guy. I'm a commercial guy.
Okay,
So
yeah.
that's what I'm trying to do with my business, but it's a lot easier to get residential customers, than commercial customers. So like in the meantime, while I'm building what I'm doing residential, and it's not something that I would like stop doing if I had a guy to do residential installs and I would go help out. But like I'm trying to get into like what I'm doing on this job. I want to do shit like that and like commercial and stuff. Like residential is cool, but it's just not my jam.
Yeah, and there's so many avenues. You do what makes you happy and what you like doing. And I agree with you that I feel like the internet presence when it comes to commercial stuff isn't as big. Residential, you definitely have to have it. And I always said when it came to reviews, either way, I just tell people like, hey man, like if you're happy with my work, if you wouldn't mind going leaving me a review so I can do this, get the word out to more people. But I do agree it doesn't have the same effect when you do the commercial stuff because it is more word of mouth and getting in and you're their guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a big building and you just changed one system out of fucking 100 they have or 10 that they have. And you hope that you're the guy that changes number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, as it goes down the line.
Yeah, or get the service agreement. Like I'm hoping that I get the service contract for this job. You know what I mean? Because that's good money, and is like a bigger contract like that, like is good money for maintenance. Like residential, it's like you have to have a pretty high turnover rate, to make any money on maintenances. Like I don't know how you guys do a $49 maintenance. Like I can't do that. Like
Well, no, so that was a discounted thing. So we normally don't. And to be honest, in the residential world, you don't make dick off of the maintenance customers. So the way we think about it is if somebody buys a maintenance plan with us, we just took them off the market. That system's off the market because when it does break, they're going to call us, So really, I don't make anything off a guy going out there maintaining it. You might break even. You hope that, God forbid, if they have to replace it or if, oh shit, it doesn't work. Oh, I got that maintenance contract with them. I'm going to call them. So that's where you hope to make money. But the actual contract themselves, you don't make dick off of it. Even for you, if you had like commercial companies, like I do think that the monthly plan is a good business model because it's consistent income for you. So if some of these big businesses, rather than saying, oh, for doing all these units, it's going to be $4,000 or whatever. I don't know. I'm just making up a number. But if you pay me, $225 a month, I'll come out here 4 times a year and do the maintenance or whatever. And when they do that monthly thing and you get, 20, 30 people doing that, that's just consistent income that you have coming in. So I do like that business model, but it's easier said than done in the commercial side.
Me and my buddy who's like super good with money and stuff like that. And like, we all know like everything is going towards like a subscription based model, right? Like fucking Adobe, just everything, you know what I mean? Like I remember before I started my own business doing the Blue Collar Crew, the clothing line and stuff, like I tried that. And I'm like, oh, I'll get Adobe Illustrator. And then like, I thought I was just going to buy the program, you know what I mean? And then it was like, no, it's monthly and subscription based. But we talked about it. Like it is, I think, a good business model, to sign people up and have that consistent revenue. And depending on where you're trying to take your business, you know what I mean? That's revenue that you could take to a bank for a loan or like investments and stuff. Like I get it. Like I'm getting more of that stuff. Like the farther along being a business owner I get. And that's something new, you know what I mean, where we just started kind of talking about it and it's kind of got that little bird, in your ear. So it's been a thought, you know what I mean? Like I get it. But also, I'm trying to like stay small enough where I'm happy, but not small enough to where like it's not worth it. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I did pretty good my first year in business. A lot of people like I don't know what's good or not being a first year business owner, but like
If you made money, a profit your first year, it's good.
yeah, so people are like, "Oh, you did that good," and I'm like, "Oh, that's good," because it's less than I made when I was working full time. But like,
That's normal though.
but it's better because I worked less. You know what I'm saying? So like, I almost made as much as I made working full time for a contractor. You know, minus I don't have the retirement and stuff like that. But like in my first year, I did pretty dang good. You know what I mean? And everybody kind of says like the running thing is like if you can double what you did last year every year, like you're doing something right. So if I can double what I did last year, which I might have already done at this point, you know, after this job's complete, that's a win. You know what I mean?
Just remember this, it's not what you make, it's what you can keep. So,
Yeah.
it's profit margin. So, if you,
So
that's the
So
important
I
part.
yeah. So I changed. I was an LLC when I started, and I changed to an S corp, right? Because like if you gross, I think the threshold's like 80 grand or something. Then it's more beneficial for tax write offs, you know, to be an S corp, right? I just did my tax. I just got them complete. I had a file extension, yada yada. So learning that shit too, right? So as an S corp, like the business technically doesn't pay any taxes. You as the owner, your personal pays it. But then I'm going to pay that 9K or whatever I owe the government from my business account. So then it in turn is a business expense. It's like typical government bullshit, you know what I mean? Where you're circle jerking in a roundabout to get to the same fucking point, you know what I mean? But it's the game. But like, and one thing too about starting my own business is like, I thought my lifestyle was going to completely go kind of down. But like then I quickly realized like everything I did working for somebody else is now a business expense. Like buying tools and gas and all this stuff is now a business expense. You know what I mean? And now I pay myself, I pay my wife, so that's a business expense. You know what I mean? And it's like you said in the beginning, dude. Like the tax laws were not written for like a 9 to 5, 40 an hour week person. Like they're geared towards businesses, and you know I get to write off part of my mortgage for the square footage because I got the office I'm in. I use my
Yeah.
shed in my garage. You know what I mean? The bills, the cell phone, all of it.
Yeah. And the other thing I don't know if you know is a lot of people didn't know this. Like you can be an LLC but file as an S corp.
Probably.
Yeah. And when you learn those different tax laws and you have somebody that can advise you, like it's amazing some of the things that you can do because when you write it off, like you're paying for this stuff regardless. You got to like depreciation on vehicles. And really within the first 4 or 5 years, like you want to show a loss. You didn't have to actually lose money, but you want to show that you did. And you get a whole bunch of tax breaks and get to keep stuff because if Uncle Sam sees you making too much money too soon, they're going to be like, oh, well, we're going to fucking stick our hand in this guy's pocket because he's doing too good, you know?
Yeah, they get it.
Yeah, if you get a good tax person in the beginning and you have good, clean books, because I see so many people, like I did it with the podcast. Like when I was making money at first, I was like, oh, well, it's not that much. Like, I'm not going to start an LLC. Like, I'll just put that shit in the personal bank account and then started making some more. And my brother, he's got a master's degree in finance and business, he's like, bro, you're going to get fucked. Like, you better do something. And finally I did, but I just found things to write off. And people that are smarter than me have been able to guide me and been like, oh, you can write this off. You can write that off. Oh, you can write this off, So
I'm gonna have to get a hold of my accountant and ask her how to take a loss.
Paying for this and paying for that. I didn't get to take a paycheck this week and blah, blah, blah. Like there's ways to do it legitly that you're not like, doing anything dishonest,
Yeah.
but they'll know, like they'll know how to do it. If you have a good tax person you trust, then just take their advice. You know what I mean? Because that stuff can get crazy.
Yeah.
That's like people doing, what's the other thing? If you've been in business for 2 years, it's almost like, I don't want to say it's free money, but it can really jumpstart your business and the interest rate is like almost nothing.
Something through the SBA, the Small Business Association or something.
It is. It's through the SBA, but it's money that's there sitting for business owners that, if you don't take it, then it's not like they're going to give it to somebody else.
My biggest thing is if I could get something, if there's something like that exists, where it's like, let's say 20 grand, 25 grand, and you can buy a van and like tool it up I mean, that's a huge expense. And now you just have to find somebody to fill it, you know what I mean? Which is a whole another battle. Because that's where I'm at. Like, I don't have enough money to, like, buy a vehicle. I probably could, but I don't need it. You know what I mean? I don't have to have it. But it would be nice to have, like, somebody like my buddy Judd, you know what I mean, to, like, work for me, you know what I mean, or work together and then just kill it, you know what I mean? But, like, I just don't have the capital to, like, go and buy a $40,000 van and tool it up. And I'm kind of like, I don't want a piece of shit either, you know what I mean? I'm kind of at a point where I'd rather just deal with what I got till I got the money to buy something that I want. I have a van sitting in my driveway that I got to build and do whatever I want to do to it. My buddy, we worked out a deal, like putting in a heat pump, and he gave me this van, you know, and the van is, it's a good van, you know what I'm saying? But it's an electrician's van. So there's a lot of shit that I need to change. But it's a van. It's a good van for somebody if I ever hire somebody. But, like, I'm not going to go into it. I might use it for installs or something because, like, it's a big, you know, E350 or whatever. So it's a ton of room. I'm working out of a fucking Dodge pickup truck. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's cool for small ductless jobs or, like, service calls, things like that. But, like, big jobs. I got my entire company on this fucking job site. And I'm thinking, I'm like, dude, when I leave this, I'm going to probably have to take like 6 truckloads in my pickup to get it all back to my house.
Yeah, it's crazy. Well, then the other thing is you get the money to buy the van, you hire the person. Well, now you got to make enough money to pay their salary. You know what I mean? You got to bid your jobs accordingly.
That's a whole nother thing. You know what I mean? Because I've been to the point where I'm like, okay, I need to hire somebody full time. But then I also, on the other side of things, like, I don't want the stress, because I keep myself up at night just to keep myself busy. You know what I mean? I don't want to have that stress to, like, keep somebody else busy. So, like, you know, I want to grow, but, like, I don't want to grow in the same sense. You know what I mean?
And I tell people, man, it's like when you start a business, it's all about what you want. Like, some people, they have that mindset, like, oh, I want to grow that big, huge company. Okay, more power to you. Some people are like, hey, I want to start a one-man band that maybe I'll pass down to my kids one day. Or if they don't want to do it, I'll sell the fucking thing. Like you said, I want to do what I love every day. I'm in control of what I do and how I do it, and I can make a good living with some breaks here and then and control my time. So it's all about what you want. There's no right or wrong way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I knew when I started a company, I worked for big companies. I knew I did not want to be that company. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I still talk to people that work for them. I mean, like we talked about, the machine is so hungry. I mean, they're taking big construction jobs. You're basically taking jobs a lot of times just to keep your dudes busy. And, you know, like, you're not even making much money, but you're just taking these jobs to keep the fucking wheels turning, right? And like, who knows? You know, who knows what the future holds? But like right now, I like what I'm doing. It is stressful, but like one thing I've came to terms is like what I've done for this job is just, there's nothing wrong with subbing out labor. Like, you can get the work, you know, if you quote it accurately for that, like, you know, you can just sub out some labor, like set up, like me and my guy I work with around here. I help him out. He helps me out sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when you realize that, you're like, I can still do what I do. And then as long as you're scheduling with each other and things like that, and like you have people you can rely on, like you can just sub out some labor. Like, I'll get the work and then hire you when I need you. You know what I'm saying? But I'm quoting it for that.
Yeah.
Because it's not as cheap to sub it out as to have someone working for you, obviously.
Yeah, and then like you said, it's a struggle knowing that you're responsible for somebody else and them feeding their family. Like, it's not about just me paying my bills and feeding my family. Like, now this responsibility falls on me that I got to make sure that this dude's got work every day because he's got his own bills and his own family to feed, you know? And sometimes that can take a toll on somebody, especially when it gets slow. Like you said, sadly, we've had to do it in some of the, you know, slow months where we've taken on bigger jobs that are drawn out. We've given them a deal where we're not losing money. We're making a couple of dollars, but it's keeping our guys busy in the off season. So we do it. And when we're not even some huge company, you know, it happens. It gets nervous. And in the beginning, we had to lose a few guys because we couldn't keep them busy. They're like, dude, I love you, Gil. Like, I love this company. I love you guys. They're like, I got to be able to pay my bills. And I'm like, dude, I get it, and it sucked to see him go. Some of them have coming back since we've grown. Some of them have moved on to other opportunities, either owning their own company or like one big thing in this area, Baltimore, DC, since you have DC there's so many government jobs. You can't match what the government pays. Like what you do, commercial, you'd fucking clean up around here, man.
I mean, I'm in Washington State though, so
that's what I'm saying. If you were in this area, because around here in DC, the government jobs it's fucking easy money. Because the government just does a bid, and if they like you, they're going to pay your price because they don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? They don't care. It's tax dollars they're spending. So I know a lot of guys that clean up on that shit.
Yeah. It's crazy, dude. It's
But brother, we're fucking well over an hour, man.
I literally walked in and ate, took a shit, and came down here to do this. So
I won't keep you any longer, man. I'll start to close this because we're over an hour, man. But I thank you for coming on, bro. I'm glad you came back. And like I said, I know you don't like the word, but, guys like you that are influencing on Instagram and showing your struggles, man, the struggles that you took that leap that a lot of people want to do and don't to start a business. You're showing some of those things. You're being genuine, like, this shit sucks. I love doing this, but now I got to do this too. And it blows, but you're being real about it and you're showing like the right way to do things. And I think that's awesome. And I love seeing people. I try to be as genuine as possible. I may be an asshole sometimes, but I'm that same fucking asshole all the time. So I appreciate other people doing stuff like that, dude. So that's fucking awesome, man.
Yeah, no, thank you. And thanks for having me on again. And I'm glad we didn't have any hiccups this time, so hopefully get it out to the masses, you know what I mean?
Yes, this audio will be out 100%. So you'll be at the Tactical Awards like AHR and stuff again next year?
Right now I'm planning on it. I just actually registered last night for AHR. So yeah, I mean right now I know my wife wants to go and she was going to go last year, and so hopefully it works out to where she actually comes.
Well, nice. I say that because, I'll be able to get to meet you in person again because I backed up my schedule, man, because it was always so busy doing the sponsorship stuff that I didn't get to see as many people and talk. Like, I saw you guys at the awards, and then afterwards, it was like, hey, what's up, bro? Gotta go, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's what happens at that show. Like, you have all this plan, to go do this. And even with a plan, you're getting pulled in all these directions and stuff. So yeah, but I love the show. I want to go if my schedule allows it. I'm definitely going to go, but I'm going to pre-plan better because last year it was like iffy because it's in Georgia and it's like a 6-hour flight. So we'll probably get the skin in the game soon, like get a hotel and shit like that. And then you're kind of committed. It's a little easier.
The earlier the better, man. I've been to quite a few of them now. So I've got it down, but there's some things that I'm cutting out that I'm not going to do. Like, I want to have time to just hang out with people. And that's why I love the Tactical Awards, where we get to see each other. Before that, it was literally running around trying to find everybody. So I'll let you do what you got to do, man. I'm going to close the show out. So if you got to roll, it's all good, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna get out of here.
Yep. Thank you, man. I appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, thank you. And send me the link to this so I can put it on my link tree.
Yeah, I'll send it to you when it's done. I'll send you the link to this, the audio, the video, and then you can do whatever you want with it, bro.
Cool. Thanks, bro. All
right, homie. Have a good night, my man.
You guys too. Bye.
See you. What is up, everybody? We got deep into conversation. I was not paying much attention to the chat. I apologize. But if you don't follow Jamie on Instagram, go do so, man. Northwest HVAC. Jamie is an awesome fucking dude, man. I've gotten the privilege to meet him in person a couple of times now. He shows his struggle about making the leap to start his own business, about struggling through that and the work he does. He's another one of those guys that sets the bar. He only does shit the right way, the best of his ability, or he doesn't do it. And you got to love that. So thank you guys, man. Like I said, I apologize about last week for not doing the show. It really was kind of a game time decision. My man, Ben Poole, was in town. Ben's my buddy, man. So I took him out to dinner. I wanted to be a good host when he came to my city. And yes, I registered, but the tickets to the award show. So register for AHR. The Tactical Awards tickets will go. I was talking to Ben. So they're not live yet. When they do go live, don't worry. I will let you know. And Ben will probably come on the podcast and we'll talk about it. And just so people know, like, there's been a false pretense about the Tactical Awards. Like, you do not have to be an influencer. You don't have to have like a certain amount of subscribers or followers to go. Like, it's open to the masses. Like, anyone can go to the Tactical Awards, just so you know that. So I know in some of the years past, people have been like, oh, I didn't get invited. Well, you don't get invited. You just know about it, and then you go to the website and you buy the tickets. That's literally what it is. So if you want to go, just check the website, hvactactical.com, or just check social media. But like I said, when those tickets go live, I will let you know when they go live because I'll be buying them myself. And Ben is actually going to come on the show and we'll talk about it and all that. So I will let you know when they go live so that anybody wants to purchase them, you can. Remember, AHR is going to be in Chi-Town, Chicago this year. So that's pretty awesome. So I've been to all of the other cities, but I've never been to the one in Chicago. So this is my first time there. So I've been to Orlando, I've been to Atlanta, I've been to Vegas, but I've never been to this one. So I'm pretty excited about that. And I can only imagine what the fucking Tactical Awards is going to be this year because last year was fucking amazing. So south side of Chicago, yeah. I'm going to go get me, what is that? The Italian beef. Isn't that what they have in Chicago? The Italian beef sandwiches. I'm a foodie, man. So I like trying food from people's like different cities and shit. So trying to get me some grub. Oh, don't worry, man. I'm buying a suit now. I've been renting these suits only because I didn't want to travel with it. So I've been renting suits and then I just pick them up from a Men's Warehouse, like in whatever city I'm in. Only because I didn't want to travel with it. But I've spent so much money renting suits that I could have bought like another badass suit. I have some suits too, but they're just like plain Jane. And I need to get some of them tailored. Suck in my gut. Make my ass look a little better. But I'm going to buy another suit. So I'll make sure I look fresh at the fucking awards. Oh, pizza. Yeah, I want to do that too. The deep dish. I like Chicago style pizza. Leisure suited. I want to get one of the Dumb and Dumber suits, like the orange ones with the long like tail with the fucking top hat and the cane. I'm going to go in there, like fucking just twirling it around and shit. I feel like people expect that from HVAC Uncensored, but we'll see what happens. Like I said, I have another show creating in the mix that I have to just tie some things down. There's been a lot of things in the background we have to get finished. And there's something else that I might do as well, because I know these podcasts sometimes when I'm talking to the guest, I don't get to sit there and talk to you guys in the chat. And I want to be able to do that, man, because I love you guys. I appreciate you guys coming here and supporting me. And I get tied up so times that I can't even go into some of my friends, like I said, that I try to support to go watch their shows all the times. And I feel horrible because there's literally one of them every night of the week. And there's just always so much shit going on. So I don't know for sure. I've been thinking about another night doing just a live stream. So it's not going to be a podcast. The audio is not going to come out. It's literally going to be me coming on, bullshitting with you guys, and then maybe phone calls can come in. If one of you guys wants to hop in and chat with me, we can do it that way. So let me know if that's something you guys are interested in. And I might try to do that because I was thinking maybe do it on like a Saturday night, and I would do it before Ryan and Jen do the Misfits. Maybe when they start at 9, I would start at 8, and then we would just get done and then go right over into their show or something along those lines was my thought. So if that's something that you guys would be interested in, let me know, and maybe I'll start to do that, and then we can just hang out, bullshit, and all that kind of stuff. With that being said, man, I'm going to start to close this out. Like I said, tomorrow is National Technician Appreciation Day, so I am taking my big flat top grill to work tomorrow, and we're going to make breakfast to the team. So I got to get up early, get in there and start cooking some stuff. But pay attention to my Instagram tomorrow because I will be giving something away tomorrow for Technician Appreciation Day, and I'm going to do it on Instagram. So please make sure you follow me on Instagram and pay attention to what I'm posting tomorrow, because I will literally make a post in the morning telling you exactly what you have to do to enter. And at the end of the day, I will pick a winner, and it'll be that's that. All right. So awesome, Jen. Thank you. I think that would be cool. And then I'll already be down here, and then I can just hop right in and be sitting down here watching your guys' show if I start blocking that time. Because normally by that time, my daughters are getting ready to go to bed or in bed. So it should be good. Yes. Hoorah. Semper Fi, brother. All right, man. Let's start to close this out, guys. Remember, subscribe, follow me on all the social media sites. I really appreciate it so I can get out to more and more people. I appreciate all you ones who come here and watch this live. And obviously, I appreciate everyone who listens to the audio after the fact. Always a shout out and thank you to my editor, Morgan, for making all this stuff possible, taking the workload off of me. I appreciate you, my man. I really needed to build up some of the reviews. So if you haven't already, if you could go like the HVAC Uncensored, the business Facebook page, I really appreciate it. I'm trying to get those numbers up for analytics, and then also reviews. Like if you listen to the audio podcast, wherever you get your audio podcast, if you wouldn't mind leaving a 5-star review so we can try to get this to as many other people as possible, that would be greatly appreciated. With that being said, guys, be safe out there. We all have somebody to make it home to. Keep your head on the swivel. We live in a crazy fucking world nowadays. So be safe. Make it home the same way that you left. We all have somebody to make it home to. Do the little things, man. Set yourself apart from the next guy or girl. If you're not going to do something with 100% of your ability, then fucking don't do it. All right? Keep making yourself better. Listen or watch a podcast, read a book, an online class, take a class in your area, whatever it is. Keep trying to be the best fucking version of you. And I'm telling you, you keep doing that, you'll keep having what you want in life. You'll be happy, and you'll keep attaining and reaching those goals. I promise you. With that being said, I love you, mofos. And until next week, I'll talk with you later. Peace.
Thanks for listening to the HVAC Uncensored podcast. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Instagram, or email us anytime at hvacuncensored@gmail.com. Now, get back to work. Shut this down. The views and opinions shared on the HVAC Uncensored podcast may not necessarily be the views and opinions of our sponsors or guests.
My fucking beard's gray, man. I hate getting old. This sucks. Alright, see you later, people. Love you. Bye. No homo. Just good stuff. Alright, see ya.